you, Alex?
I'm doing pretty darn good. How are you doing?
Are
we doing a cold opening, or are we just kind of chit-chatting before we do?
Do you want to talk? Do you want to pregame?
We could pregame a little bit if you want to.
We can pregame.
I've got stuff. So
You're always full of doublespeak, Alex, because you frame it as if I was suggesting we pregame. Because you're like, we can pregame if you want to, and I was like, wait a second, I didn't say anything about me wanting to pregame.
Hey man, we can pregame. God, I wish we could pregame.
Hey everybody, welcome to Culture Doom. This is episode 333. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Brendan.
I'm your other host here. My name is Alex.
And this is the February issue of Culture Doom.
It is. We're like a comic book company now.
Yeah, it's been more just like a normal men's journal, men's monthly magazine.
Like
we're like Parade magazine.
Parade is a men's magazine?
No, it's a middle-aged woman's magazine.
Is GQ quarterly, or is it just called GQ?
GQ used to be monthly, but yes, it was called Gentleman's Quarterly. I don't know if it's. Is there still a magazine?
I think so. I mean, I see covers
Subscribe
of it posted
now.
every so now.
1 year for $15, a little over $1 an issue.
Oh,
that's actually not that bad.
Good deal, but bad for them.
So, Alex, how have you been, Alex? It's been a month. You and I don't talk to each other anymore. It's sort of like the band broke up. We never really talk anymore.
We're John and Paul.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we only get together for work.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's how this relationship continues to operate.
It is. No, it's we you and I still talk. We text mostly together and stuff like that, and send silly memes and such like that.
I was exaggerating because there's all these like Penn and Teller talk about how they never really hang out or they're just working professionals and all that shit. But so I was exaggerating the lack of our relationship. However, our texting has dropped off drastically.
Yeah, and I feel bad about that.
It's not your fault. There's times where like for example, last week I was so busy. I remember being like, Alex texted me at 9 a.m. and I have not replied to that all day long.
It kind of felt like I put as funny as it sounds, like a text in a bottle and threw it out to the ocean. And I'm like, well, he'll get back to me sometime. And it just sat there like Fry's dog.
I was picturing like you know the end of that Simpsons episode where Homer's sitting on I think it's after his mom leaves again, and he's sitting on the back of the car watching the shooting stars go by. That's what I picture you doing, waiting for my replies.
Yep, I do.
Just sit with your hands folded.
Yeah, I basically with the new. I mean, I've got work to deal with, so Erica's at home too, taking care of Zachary. And I kind of help out, getting bottles ready or changing him and feeding him and stuff like that. But then at nighttime, it's like I'm just so tired because thankfully we've got Nicholas in preschool, so he's able to, run around and do stuff there.
I love how Nicholas ended up in preschool again, because what the audience doesn't know is like for a while Nicholas was being held home because of COVID stuff.
Yeah,
and then
us, but
your wife, partially because of Erica.
Yeah,
and then your wife had another baby and came home, and I think it was 3 days of having the baby and Nicholas. And Erica was like, okay, he's going back to preschool.
Yeah.
It was like the firstborn is back into the fire.
Yeah. And it's like, I told her, I'm like, I don't want to be those kind of parents, because I know these parents, like the ones that were like, they started having kids like in the 90s and they were feeding their kids like baby Mozart and baby Einstein shit and all that stuff. And like, but yeah, basically it's like they just came up and it's just like you see these kids and you're like, I can hit you over the head with a brick and you would come back to me like a golden retriever going, ha, 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 I love you. But we don't want to be those kind of parents that are just like having kids just to have kids. And then you're just like, they're not like, like a coffee table book of some sort. The way some people treat their children.
I want to have kids to be my coffee table.
You can purchase them. I mean, they're available in various colors, shapes, sizes, and, different price ranges if you want.
Cambodia.
Yeah, just talk to Madonna. She knows. She'll get you a deal. But, yeah, I mean, thankfully we do have preschool because he's able to go there and play with other kids, and he's got lots of things to do there, and he gets to run around and have fun and interact with,
building up his interpersonal skills and not being just surrounded by his parents and a baby.
Yeah.
It's important to his development.
And it's similar to like the case about like, homeschooling and stuff like that. It's like, yes, there are benefits to homeschooling kids, but then there's also, on the flip side, there is going to be the issue about them being able to interact with other kids their age. Then that'll help mold them later on.
There's some benefits, but they end up becoming antisocial weirdos. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that didn't happen to me. Anyway, so I'm glad that everything's happening. Everything's going well at home.
Yeah, it's just that I'm just very tired, and by the time we put everybody to bed and then wait until Zachary gets up at like 1:30 or 2 in the morning, like I just kind of lay in bed there and I watch either Magnum PI or Rambalac videos. And then I eventually start like drifting off to bed and I go like, good night. And I've even texted you a couple times after our conversation going like, okay, well, I'm going to hit the hay. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Yeah, I think most of our chats, our texting nowadays happen after 5.
Yeah, when the wife is in bed.
I've been impressed by your like later replies. You used to stop replying around 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Now I can sneak in some 11 p.m. texts with you.
Yeah, there was one time I responded back either to one of your Twitter posts or something else at like 4 in the morning. And the only reason was because I was like sitting there on the couch with Erica watching, what was she watching? She was watching like Handmaid's Tale or something. She's gone through like 15 different series now. She's like 30 Rock. She did The Good Place. Now she's doing Downton Abbey again. She just like binge watches all these things. And I'm just sitting there going like, can we watch Magnum? I just want to watch Magnum.
Oh, I know. I think you replied to something I wrote when I was drunk. That's
It was a while ago, but
yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, I got drunk and
Which, by the way, I'm very glad to hear you're drinking. I mean, that sounds terrible, but
at like 4 a.m. a couple of weeks ago, I fan subbed the new Evangelion TV spot and posted it to Twitter. And you replied to that with Rich Evans dancing with the ATSTs, saying fan service, fan service, fan service. And then I realized when I was sober the next day that not only had a translation already been done, but a better source had been posted. So my entire post was dumb, and I was embarrassed of it, and so I deleted it, but your reply is still there. I didn't realize you replied at 5:30 in the morning, though.
Yeah, because Nicholas was waking up a couple times. He wakes up and he's like, starts crying, and I'm like, what is the problem? Do you want to go to bed? Go to bed. And he's like, Daddy, I want muffins. Put on Ninja Turtles. I'm like, God damn it, kid.
I want muffins to put on Ninja Turtles. This is horrifying. I don't know. I'm scared of kids now. I mean, I was already scared of kids.
Well, you can put them like in a box or something, although DCFS might have a thing with that. So just have a cat. You'll be fine with your cat. But yeah, that's basically my life now. And work, which I'm cranky about. There's sometimes I just go to the fridge and pull out a beer at like 11 in the morning, and I'm just like, I'm already done with work. I'm done. But what I have been doing is getting back into working on my Gundam models. I hope your
employers never listen to this.
Oh, they can go whatever.
I have noticed while I'm at work, you sending me a picture, and it's of like it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and I see the beer and the model kit's out, and you're like talking about your keyboard or something. I'm like, what is Alex doing? It's 11 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You got one of them cushy. I remember in high school you were saying how you just wanted to have an office job and be able to play video.
And I was I am able to do that and stuff. But at the same time, it's like I'm just stuck to this desk and stuff. It's just like I can't get out, and I have the baby cage around me too. So Nicholas doesn't come around there. It's just like, oh look, there's buttons here and there's colors. So I feel like the Arizona Mexico border.
You're in a wagey cage. You're in a wage cage.
In a wagey cage. And I can look at my intranet and they give me some anime and some gunpla.
So your wife has more freedom because she's on a laptop, isn't she? So she sits in like the kitchen and does her work, and you're cut off from the family with the wagey cage.
Yeah, because I have the desktop here, and I want to have my hard internet line instead of Wi-Fi and stuff.
You know what what your next computer investment should be? I was thinking about this. You need like a new monitor.
I do, now that
you need a bigger monitor. What's the resolution of that monitor?
This is a 60 hertz 1080p.
It is 1080.
Okay, I think it's about like 20, and then it's like a 23.6 inch monitor.
Is it really? I guess it seems smaller. I guess it seems smaller because there's only one of them.
Honestly, it does. Well, that's the thing. If it does feel smaller, but I'd be fine just still keeping a single monitor, but have it bigger, and then getting it up to like, a 1440 or whatever.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
I was reading something the other day, and I want to test this on you.
Okay.
Because it freaked me out, and I want to see if it's just me or if this is a normal thing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I probably read that issue of Guidepost, but go ahead.
I need you to close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear your thoughts.
Okay.
Now I want you to picture an apple.
Okay.
What color is this apple?
Red.
Okay. Perfect. Mm-hmm. So you can see the apple in your head, right?
Yes. Can I open my eyes, or do I have to keep it closed?
You can open your eyes now. In fact, I need you to open your eyes because look at this diagram and tell me which number corresponds to what you saw when you thought of an apple. And for people who can't see the image, which is everybody, this is a ascending scale of a photo of an apple at number 1 to a cartoon apple to like black and white to a shape of an apple to nothing would be 5.
Probably like between 1 and 2, more leaning towards 2.
Okay, so this is fascinating to me because I've never understood that people actually can like visualize something. Like I thought that people saying like imagine, picture, now this was like a metaphor. So what I don't understand, what this is getting at is this is a condition called aphantasia. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not convinced that I actually have aphantasia. What I think is actually happening here is terminology, because I know what an apple looks like, and I can draw an apple from memory. But if I close my eyes and think of an apple, I don't see anything. I don't picture anything. I just know what it looks like. Does that make sense?
So you know what it looks like without having to like mentally I guess I create it in a sense.
Well, I don't understand. I guess, and I this is where it breaks down for me. I don't know what that means. I guess when you say mentally like form it, I can't wrap my head around what that means on an individual basis, because I don't think of, when someone says close your eyes and think of an apple, I close my eyes out of like, this is what you do.
Yeah.
But I can't say that I ever have closed my eyes and seen the thing I'm supposed to picture.
Okay. Have you ever like done like any like meditation like that? Like where they're like close your eyes, think of
I remember in like, didn't we do like this in high school? Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that where they're like think of like some path in the woods or something like that, and you're walking along and you come to a door or whatever, whatever the kind of shit is and stuff.
Isn't that I swear to God, you just did every single guided meditation that has ever happened. I always thought those were cool stories.
Creative.
Well, I thought they were cool stories though. I always liked the you come to a brook and there's a fountain in the middle of the water. Think of the color of the water, and it sounds so soothing to you. And I'm like, all right, I see you. That might be why I like Minecraft so much, because I feel like I'm walking through a guided meditation. So what I'm getting at here is aphantasia is basically number 5, where you cannot imagine or picture images in your head. But the problem, and if someone told me that, I would say, oh, I have aphantasia for sure, because I never have pictured a thing in my head. But where it gets iffy and weird for me is they say that people who do that, who have this condition, can't draw and can't like conceptualize.
Oh.
And I don't have that. Like, if someone says draw an apple, I can draw an apple from memory, but I don't. And like, I can conceptualize the different angles of an apple. You know, like the top and the bottom and 3/4 and the little. So let's say there's a little leaf on the top or any of that shit. So I can creatively render an apple, but I don't see it until I draw it. I don't know.
So it's kind of like your body's almost like just drawing it
from memory.
Just from memory, like just as like a reactionary type of thing without actually having like a model in your mind to translate onto paper.
That's correct.
Interesting.
Do you draw? Have you ever drawn?
I used to draw. I think more back in high school. Pretty much when I went to college, everything went downhill.
When the alcohol took over.
Yeah, the alcohol and the unlimited amount of porn due to high-speed internet, and playing nothing except PlayStation 2. No, I used to be more creative in drawing in grade school and then high school and stuff. And then at a certain point, it just kind of goes downhill. I had to Nicholas had a Valentine party, which the kids had to, decorate their boxes and stuff, which means that all the parents get to do it. So I was like, oh, I'm pretty creative. I got some construction paper and I'm gluing things and I put some stickers here and stuff. And then he takes it to the school and these kids have got like these monstrous looking boxes that look like dinosaurs and robots and stuff. And here comes my kid with just like his like reused Entenmann's mini muffin thingy, and he's like,
why didn't Erica do this for him?
She was out. I took it upon myself. I was like, you know what, I would do it for my kid.
I mean, but Erica, doesn't she have a art degree?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't put food on the table.
But that's not what I was getting at.
Yeah.
It's not, hopefully, Nicholas will inherit. I'm sure Nicholas or Zachary will inherit the artistic talents.
The juices.
And the other one will the other one will be cursed with your talents for drinking and pornography. Browsing.
I'm like, what do you want for Christmas this year, son? Dad, I want a Dr. Mark Rock. Like, okay. Is there a deal, a 2-for-1 deal? I was asking.
Oh no.
But no, well, his preschool, they do a lot of like art, like finger painting and drawing and markers and crayons. So it's good to be able to do that. But yeah, this thing I wanted to do it myself, and I guess that's the most creative thing I've done in 20 years. I mean, yeah, I'm dating myself, like that. It's like just me and the boomer rappers, they haven't.
That was the saddest
fucking beat for years.
The most creative thing I've done in 20 years is fail to make my son's preschool Valentine's Day shoebox.
It was an Entenmann's mini muffin box.
Hey, most artists are very tortured, so.
Which it had to be Entenmann's because he's had Little Debbie and he hates Little Debbie.
Is he a fan of the Entenmann's mini apple pie things?
I haven't given him one.
Oh, I was going to say, if he's a big fan of it, I was going to say, well, we know who got Alex's talents. Okay. I was very curious because I had a conversation about this with Liz, and Liz was more of, I think she chose 3, where it was kind of just a colored shape that she was picturing. Yeah, the black and white colored shape. And that freaks me out even more because it's almost like it should be either 1 or 5. Mm-hmm. But the fact that there's grades,
you can't even do black and white, yeah.
I can't. Thanks, Alex.
Sorry.
Can't even. It's very troubling, but so I part of me thinks that it might just be semantics on my part, and that what I'm saying when I say I can conceptualize it to draw it on paper. That's what other people are saying. I can see it, and I'm just being pedantic and an asshole. But I really, when I first saw that test, I immediately said, "Oh no, it's number 5." And then I read the article and was like, "What the fuck are you people talking about?"
So, like, is it just something like spur of the moment thing you have trouble picturing, or is it something where like I ask you like, "Hey, can you draw me a picture of Ava 1?" Would you be able to picture what Ava 1 looks like in your mind and then translate it to paper? because it's something that you like and you
see. I'm not picturing it though. I just know I remember what it looks like. I'm drawing it from memory.
Okay.
And if it's something like draw me a giant robot that's not based on anything else, the reality is that it's going to be based on something. It's going to be based on my memories of a giant robot, and I might try to make it unique by combining it with insect parts or skeleton designs or something, and try to make it. But it's all coming from observation. It's not just.
It's not formulating in your mind and then
exactly. It's not coming
going
from
into
nothing.
your arm and then your hand. Yeah. Okay.
Precisely. So I'll be drawing it and say, it might be cool if I make this part look like a skull. This is a robot skull, and maybe I'll make this look like praying. I'm actually drawing as we're talking about this. I'll make this praying mantis sort of looking arms coming out, so it looks like this skull robot insect thing.
That's pretty cool. I mean, seriously. I mean, you're basically creating like a monster for a Power Rangers episode.
I was going to say it would be what's the Kamen Rider?
Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
There you go. No, well, I think maybe you're like in the way you're describing it now is more like your creativity is more on the fly rather than having to be very, I guess, more pinpoint in terms of, more logical type of, because maybe this has something to do with, people who tend to favor the left or right side of their brains with how they do things. And this might be something with maybe their imagination or creativity, whichever part of those two would be the dominating force in something such as this.
Right. Well, listeners, write in, contact@culturedoom.com, and let us know if you can picture an apple, or if you just see a horrible abyss of blackness when you close your eyes, because that's what I see. Alex sees a wonderful fruity apple. But anyway, more importantly than all of that, Alex, I heard that you got some major dividends on your massive stonks.
Oh, baby. We got stonks. We got stonks that got stonks that got stonks. I'm buying stonks with stonks.
Do you have any stonks?
I own no stonks.
I also own no stonks.
No.
I did install Dogecoin.
You did?
I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is now data harvesting my computer at the moment. But
that's okay. At least
and
it's
I got
not the CIA.
I think I got one Dogecoin for opening up a wallet or something.
Oh, nice.
Which I believe is worth 0.007 cents.
That's kind of like how a bank will give you like $100 for opening up a checking account.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you basically just like cash out that checking account and be like, thanks, suckers.
It's like Citibank gave me a $100 gift card, and I was
Yeah. But yeah, no, the stonks thing is interesting because now it's basically, I mean, it's funny because this was all done by that, Reddit subreddit. I don't know how they work over there on that website that won't be mentioned. Subreddit. Yeah, but it was kind of funny because I was looking at this going, and I texted you going like, man, just imagine like 4chan is just like not really, it doesn't seem to have like the, I don't know, like the personal self-drive to like try to do anything like this anymore, like they used to back in the days with like them and the Tumblr wars and stuff like that.
I would have to agree with you. I would reluctantly agree with you, not reluctantly, sadly agree with you. And there was something, and you were talking about the Super Bowl ad.
Yeah,
which is the normiest of the normie thing to do, but still impressive.
Very impressive, and it was done by I guess it's the Wall Street Bets subreddit or somebody associated with that. And I can understand somebody like B on 4chan would definitely be the one to do something like that. Poll definitely if it comes to like politics or elections. But you said it's like Biz doesn't even give a shit. And Biz is, if you go on the Biz board, you pull up their catalog, it's nothing but cryptocurrency stuff all over the time, and stuff like that.
I gotta get me some crypto.
Yeah, well, Dogecoin, but yeah, it's just
real crypto.
Yeah, but they just seem to like kind of not be interested in anything anymore and stuff like that, which is kind of good because it means that they're not really attracting any attention to themselves, but at the same time it's like the old fire and gusto is gone. But the most interesting thing with the whole GameStop thing was basically that people trying to make an understanding as to like how the thing works and how it happened and stuff like that. And even the way that they did it, where you basically, like, to boil it down to a very easy way to explain it, and I've read this multiple times, I still kind of have trouble wrapping my head around it, is that basically they were talking about shorts and how you short trading and stuff like that. And basically the term short is basically when you borrow a stock from a broker and then you sell it immediately at the current price, and then you hope that that stock's price falls, that you can buy the stock back later on at a lower price and then return the shares that you borrowed from your broker, and you yourself keep the difference. And I think one of the most confusing things with that is people trying to wrap their heads around how do you exactly is the way that you borrow a stock? Like, how do you, it's like, it would be like, hey, Brendan, can I go and borrow your Mac, your Apple Mac Pro or whatever, the huge $50,000 thing that you had for work. And like, I'm like, hey, can I borrow that for some editing thing I want to do? And you know fully well that, like, I have no knowledge of how to do any editing, but you're like, sure, yeah, go ahead. And then I decide to, like, just sell it on eBay. And then later on I find a posting for it that's going to be like $10,000 less than what it's worth. So I basically go and buy that version, and then I give it to you, and I pocket whatever money. It's like that whole thing, like the whole borrowing.
I understood that as much as I understand stonks, whatever your metaphor was.
Yeah. But the funny thing about the whole thing is that people were actually getting upset that these guys were doing this and, like, hurting the stock market, like the hedge funds. Like, because I remember 10 years ago when they had the whole Occupy thing and everybody disliked Wall Street and they were corrupt and stuff like that. And now people are just like, you shouldn't be doing this to the stock market and the hedge funds and stuff. And basically saying that, like, what you're doing is out of control and stuff like that. And it's like, not really, because it's legal. It's like, eventually if you go to a casino and you start cashing out all the casino's money, and it's like, are you supposed to feel bad for them? It's like if Ocean's 11, like, the casino was somehow viewed as the good guys, and Ocean's crew trying to rip off the casino was actually the bad guys, even though it's not.
What was fucked up was that, like, the Robin Hood thing, preventing trading and freezing the stonks. And so that kind of stuff, just from the outside looking in, I was like, that doesn't seem fair. And it definitely felt like it was being manipulated to protect the wealthy. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that ultimately, a few people lost a few billions, but ultimately this is just a drop in the bucket. Oh, yeah. It's a hot news topic for a while to make little people feel like they matter. Yeah. And then it'll go back to
how it was
business as usual. It's sort of like presidencies.
Right. Yeah. It's like that every single time. It's just like, it's there just to make a headline for, the 15-minute news cycle.
There are already a bunch of people complaining about losing a bunch of money too.
When you give the peasants the opportunity to sit on the king's throne for, like, a couple of minutes, some of those peasants are going to take advantage of it, and then more and more are going to start doing that until you're like, okay, no more of your leprosy infested bottoms are going to be sitting on this anymore.
Okay. Oh God, sorry, the cat just jumped on me. Well, I hope that if you had any stonks, you have made money from them or have avoided losing money from them, because the stock market is a confusing beast that I have no hope of ever understanding, and frankly don't have a lot of interest in understanding. I want to make my money the old-fashioned ways.
Yeah.
Bank robberies.
Oh.
Bank robbery. I want to get a 6-shooter and a bandana and be like, stick them up, put all the money in the bag.
Considering the way everybody has to wear a mask, it's going to be very difficult for them to pick you out of the lineup.
Exactly. The masks make me feel like I'm in the movie Noshka, the Valley of the Wind. So, frankly, I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah. Or pretending that you're like Sub-Zero.
I guess that's what you're doing. I'm pretending that I'm a teenage girl in a post-apocalyptic world with giant bugs.
I'm a video game character.
You're a manly video game character.
Yep. Was that
Speaking of being a little bit different, Alex?
Yes, what's different?
And speaking of... Alex, were you making a segue and I didn't realize it?
I don't know, but we were talking about masks just now.
I know, but speaking of masks, Alex...
Yes, Brendan.
Do you know what the new fantastic trend in mask wear is in a COVID world?
I just want it to end. No, what is it?
Vagina-scented masks are the hot new trend.
Is this made by Gwyneth Paltrow also?
It is not, but apparently from the article on screenshotmedia.com entitled "From My Lips to Yours," vagina-scented goods are the new thing, hot new item. We got candles, we got incense sticks, we got sprays, vagina spray. I mean, vagina scented
like a whorehouse wherever you go.
And now the newest entry into vagina scented paraphernalia are vagina scented masks. Now here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the goop candle, it was actually just called "This Smells Like My Vagina." It wasn't vagina scented.
No. And
Okay.
yeah, because a lot of people... Yeah. It smelled like roses or flowers, and it's like, you're so full of shit.
It was a big marketing success.
Mm-hmm.
And then some musician started a line of incense sticks that were made from ashes of her own underwear.
Okay.
So yeah, vagina became the hottest scent of 2020.
Was it one of the chicks from L7? Because I remember they used to throw spent tampons into the crowd, and whatever guy would supposedly the story goes like whatever guy.
Did you say spent tampons?
Yes, bloody like supposedly.
No. Okay, but the fact that you call it spent and not used makes you sound like whenever somebody uses the word spent and not in the context of money, I think of spent uranium being used for rail guns.
Well, you know,
and that makes me think that that's what you're
just as strong, if not stronger, than a rail gun. But supposedly, like they would throw like used bloody tampons in a crowd, and if a guy would catch it, then they would take him back and fuck him or some shit like that. I don't know if that story's true, but that's what I heard.
That seems like a biohazard, but
yeah. But
speaking of biohazards, so unlike these fake scented or conceptually scented items, vagina items, these seem to be fetish items. Apparently there's a website called Sniffer, SNIFFFR.
Sister site of inthecrack.com. That's a real site too.
But basically people are selling masks that they have wiped on their lady bits, and with sales points such as, quote, "Imagine browsing the aisles at a store enjoying my scent. I'll make your mask wearing more enjoyable." I think that people, and the seller of this says, I think people like them because they're able to enjoy a fetish outside of their home. It's like a little secret only they know, and it makes it risky and fun.
Oh, boy.
It's personally thrilling to me to know that a mask that I've had in my panties is now being worn on someone's face, and they're enjoying it. Oh.
No, they're taking the bedroom into the streets.
I'm picturing, remember you were asking about how Tupac Shakur would react to discovering contemporary SoundCloud rappers? Uh-huh. I'm imagining George Washington discovering contemporary Americans.
Oh God. He's gonna march that army back out to the public again, like they did for the Whiskey
The
Rebellion.
ship over the Delaware is gonna go in reverse. He's like, I got up in the cold to do this.
Yeah,
they're selling what?
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, some of those founding fathers might be in line to buy a mask.
Oh, I know Ben Franklin would be the first one there.
Ben Franklin and Tommy J.
Tommy J.
Oh, we can do. I want to do a new web series, The Adventures of B. Frank and Tommy J.
My brother made a comic strip years ago called OJ and the Queen, and it was the adventures of OJ Simpson and Queen Elizabeth II.
That's great. I'm happy for Adrian, but I'm currently imagining all the wonderful adventures that B. Frank and Tommy J could have. Tommy J would always be trying to pick up black women.
Yeah.
Oh man, they could be time travelers.
They could be. Would they have to? Would we keep them in their colonial clothing, or would they be wearing a modern clothing?
Absolutely. No, they'd be in colonial clothing. We could do it like one of those really cheap,
reenactments. Kind of
no. I'm thinking animation. It'd have to be animation. We could do it like one of those cheap Adult Swim cartoons or shows, like
computer animated.
But wasn't there that really cheap one that was just basically cutouts? Well, there was that one, but even cheaper. There was the one that was like, what's it called? What's that art called that you buy? You know what I mean? Clip art.
Oh, clip art. Clippy. Just
anyway,
like a
sorry.
clip art type of thing.
It would just be like little. They wouldn't even have animated mouths. It'd just be anyway.
Oh, you would just kind of hop them up and down. Like
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
Talking?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'll get to work on that series. I'll sell my pitch.
Sell your pitch.
So vagina scented masks. Alex, would you be interested in purchasing a vagina scented mask?
No.
I'm doing air quotes because it'd actually be a penis mask.
Would it? Would it be sold on Balldo site?
I don't know that I would want any. Okay, so clearly I don't have the fetish that this goes along with, but I definitely would not want the dirty underwear of someone I don't know.
I wouldn't want dirty underwear, period.
I would take dirty underwear.
Really? You'd wear it over your mask like Bane?
No, I'd shove it in my mouth and jerk off.
Dirty
yes,
panties.
I wear it over my mouth. I'd wear it over my face like Bane. Exactly.
It was like what was it? The one.
It's the There's the Pepe with the gun and the panties over his face.
Because it's based on a there's some adult film where there was like the Bane family or some shit, and like the boyfriend like sneaks into like somebody's bedroom and he puts on like the panty over his face like Bane, and he does like the Bane voice and shit.
But you know what I mean? It's like, I'll put it this way. It's one thing to buy panties of some girl on the internet, but getting a mask, that pushes it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
I also don't, I mean, on one hand, it's delightfully capitalistic of these women to be like, I need to take it. What's another way to get simp money?
Yeah.
I'll put in COVID-19, I'll put the mask in my underwear and wear it around for a day and then sell it on sniffer.com.
I think there's no limit to the simping.
Unbridled simp.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to like the used panty vending machines in Japan. But this is kind of like taking it to the like it's definitely a time and place type of scenario, because I don't think they would have anything like this mask wise in Japan or Asia as a whole, like normally.
Weren't there used panty vending machines, and like there was like one, but it became an icon of Japanese vending machine culture.
And I'm pretty sure. I think what's
was
the other one?
Entirely apocryphal.
There's like used socks, like sweaty socks or something like that, or bras or something. But I believe they're mostly sold in like adult shops out there.
See, and I just picture that these things are all fake, and that they have a spray can, an aerosol can that says foot smell on it, that they spray on it, and then they send them all out, and they're like a bunch of creepy otaku will buy this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, that's who's kind of geared towards. So,
Speaking of contemporary sexual mores, Alex.
Yes.
You were pitching me a new sex toy that I should pick up earlier tonight. Can you give us a little bit more details?
Yeah, it's called the Balldo, Balldo, kind of a play on word of dildo. And what it is that it is a dildo that goes over. It's actually a prosthetic dildo that goes over your ball sack, so that you can use it for your partner. So basically,
What? I don't understand.
So what it basically is a like a silicone sort of sheath that actually goes over your ball sack. Basically, is kind of like a cock ring almost, but for your ball sack. And what it does is that it is able to go ahead and make that into a dildo, so you can basically double penetrate your partner. The problem though with well, here's the problem with this is that if you're in a if you're in a gay relationship, it doesn't really work because there's only one hole. So obviously this only works for a guy and a girl. So that kind of takes out a part of the, possible, paying customer base and stuff like that. Also on their website, they've got this little animated 3-step process as to how you use this. And the way basically, if you could picture sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, but if you're thinking of like a stumpy dildo, probably no more than like, I'd say 4 or 5 inches or something like that in length. And you basically kind of have the tip, which is about, I don't know, 3 inches in length or something like that. And then you have this kind of cock ring for it, that it's connected to a cock ring. If you guys go to Balldo.com, it's easier to see than me describing it because I can't describe things, but I can picture apples. So step 1, it says make your balls hairless and then you lube them up. I don't know why. And then it says step 2 is stretch your Balldo over your balls. So you basically take the ring and you kind of slip it over it, kind of like a cock ring is the best way to say it. And then you also have spacer rings that you put on to kind of squeeze things and make them compact, and then you insert into partner.
This looks horribly painful.
It does. And the problem is you can only really use it for double penetration.
Are you sure that this is, I haven't listened to any of the audio. Are they really talking about this putting this in a girl's butt?
Well, I'd have to say.
Are you sure are you sure this isn't made for vaginal sex?
I mean, I'm assuming you can use it for vaginal sex, but at the same time, it's like basically what it does is that it gives you the ability to have 2 penises. So you could basically double penetrate if you wanted to, but
I don't see how you could double penetrate with this.
That's the thing. It's like the angle that you would have to take to do this in one hole would be more painful for you than your partner.
Also, this is real. Is this real?
Supposedly it is.
This seems completely, I could only see this working for vaginal sex. I do not see how you could even get this. It's too big, first of all, for anal sex with someone who has only a passing interest and is not an experienced butt fucker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, based on the pictures, I should say, it seems very thick. Like the picture of the guy's balls in it. I guess it is real because there's that picture.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Basically,
man.
like they say, it is able to for vaginal, but it's like, okay, well, if you're going to turn your scrotum into a dildo, like what is your penis going to be like? What are you just going to be jacking off your dick while you're fucking her with your?
Well, I think
it's
supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be after you lose your erection.
It seems too much complication that could just easily be solved with just a regular, dildo. Quite honestly, I mean, I think they're kind of making a device for something that doesn't really need to exist.
The IKEA. Jesus.
They sell these at IKEA.
The idea came to Jerry Davies, CEO of Nadgers Incorporated. Whatever the fuck that is. Oh, Nadgers. Nice. as he and his partner basked in a post-coital cuddle. She started pulling my balls down, and as she did, my cock started getting hard again, he tells InsideHook.com. So from there I started experimenting with ball weights, cock rings, etc., and it dawned on me that there was enough slack at the top of my balls that I might be able to somehow make a second penis out of them. That's
how you come to that ending. It's like,
okay, so here's some more answer. I got a little bit more information for you, Alex. Initially, Davies and his partner figured the Balldo would be a solution for couples that wanted to continue having sex after the penis owner had climaxed. At the time, they did not know. Well, Alex, not just men have penises. At the time, they did not know that it would also trigger its own brand of orgasm. This is a bunch of bullshit.
You could orgasm from your scrotum?
According to Davies, the Balldo combines 3 sensations that trigger a so-called ballgasm. The device stimulates the nerve endings in the scrotal skin, especially when inside an orifice where things are all warm, wet, and cozy. Blend that with the foreign testicular thrusting sensation and your penis being up for grabs while all the action is taking place, and boom, you've got yourself a knee-buckling ballgasm. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I saw it just in passing, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. So, yeah. I thought that it would just be used for, like, anal, but I guess I didn't know that it's kind of like... it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like when you're leading by 12 points and you got a minute left in the game. You're gonna put in the the 6'5" white Lithuanian guy who's been sitting there in his practice clothes and stuff, and then be like, all right, Sergey, you go and hit a 3-pointer or something like that. Even though we don't need it, but I'll give you a chance after the good players are done playing, but.
It reminds me of that GIF that shows up from time to time of the porno where the guy has his balls shoved in the girl's ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't seem like fun for anyone.
Especially the balls.
So I typed in balls in girl's butt GIF, and I'm getting just a bunch of young ladies that have little basketballs in their butts.
Well, good for them. I'm very happy.
So that was not what I was looking for. Anyway, well, if anyone is interested in picking up a Balldo and experimenting with this, Alex, you can go to Balldo.com, Balldo.com, and put your email address in to get notified of when it becomes available.
I'm sure you'll be putting stuff in afterwards.
Alex, I'm unrelated topic. What's your email address? I'm just kidding. I know your email address.
It's Proton Mail now.
And get notified.
Get notified. Did you seriously put that in?
No, I put Erica's in instead.
Oh, good. Thank God.
What'll be more interesting is that if she doesn't mention to you that she got notified.
It's like, what is this thing that you ordered here in the mail? It's rattling.
I did send you and Erica to a hotel for a romantic getaway once. And by romantic, I mean incredibly, horrifyingly awkward.
Awkward. Which I will never forget.
I think you had a better time with it.
I did.
Than I did.
Oh.
What I'm telling I think we talked about this once before, but back when Alex was a young man and not married and didn't have kids, I paid for him and his now wife, which makes it okay.
Yeah.
I sent Alex and his wife to a hotel since... Were you living down there yet? No, you were both living with your parents.
Yeah.
Okay, so I paid for them to go to a hotel to shoot a sequel video of the Clone a Willy bit that we did. And then I never used the footage. So then it just turned into a weird thing. Like I sent you guys down there just to get the video. Yes. Just so that I could have the videotape.
For your own reasons.
For my own collection. I don't even know where that tape is anymore.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if you use it, make sure you email us, contact@culturedoom.com, and let us know how it went.
Send
But
footage.
right now, send footage. I would genuinely love to see a video of this. I'm looking forward to them showing up on Pornhub.
Hopefully, well, they have to verify. You know
Have
what?
Go
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, you remember when you did the whole thing about the story about the kid who got suspended for playing the Pornhub riff?
Yep.
I realized the reason I didn't know that riff is because I never watched the videos that were like the verified accounts.
The blue checks.
Yeah, the blue checks. I don't follow blue checks on Pornhub, and that's why I never knew about the music. Because I was like, oh, I'll just watch this weird ass shit where a guy shoves his balls into a girl's ass.
Yeah, you like the indiest of the indie. I've been watching this animation of these balls being shaved for like 15 minutes now. Mm-hmm. So I think what we're going to do at this moment is take a quick break. And when we come back, maybe I might learn some new facts.
Oh, yeah.
So keep it tuned to Culture Doom, and we'll be back right after this.
What kind of shoes do you wear?
Pumps. I can't wait to meet you. There's a Roy Rogers on Main. Maybe they're at 6.
I'll be in a red convertible.
Bye.
Soon, Roy Rogers will become Hardee's. We're keeping Roy's delicious chicken and adding breakfast biscuits.
Yo, babe. Is there a Roy Rogers around here?
Roy Rogers?
It'll seem confusing at first,
Never heard of it.
but you'll thank us later.
That joke was better in my head when I pictured it next to the apple than it came out.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Culture Doom. Thanks for sticking with us. Alex, do you know what time it is?
It's time for Professor Alex's fascinating factoids and other such trivia.
Alex, I've been looking forward to this for a fucking month.
Sure. Sorry.
No, that was a good thing. You don't have to apologize. Only Professor Alex apologizes for building anticipation in his audience.
Terribly sorry. Our first factoid is about the animal kingdom, and it deals with frugivores. Frugivore is an animal that thrives mostly on raw fruits, succulent fruit-like vegetables, roots, shoots, nuts, and seeds. And approximately 20% of the mammalian herbivores eat fruit.
I was not aware of that.
Yes. The rest of them probably are just grazers and, eat meat and stuff like that. So, not many animals eat fruit.
So would a fruit bat be a, what did you call it?
An herbivore. I think fruit bats.
Not an herbivore.
Frugivore.
Wait,
Frugivore.
Wait.
Well, basically,
again.
A frugivore,
What's our first fact? What's our first fact, Alex?
A frugivore eats raw fruits. So
Okay.
So basically, like an herbivore,
not
like a cow,
plants?
doesn't eat fruit.
Gotcha. They only
So it's
eat
a very
plants.
specific. Yeah, kind of how you have. I always get the name fucked up, but there's like the Episcopalians, not Episcopalians, but there's like a certain term for people who are like some version of vegetarian where they don't eat meat but they still eat fish.
Episcopalians.
Pescatarians.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
Episcopalians.
about. It's funny to me because I was trying to remember the word Episcopalian on some other episode because I was trying to talk about Catholics who aren't Catholic. Mm-hmm. And Episcopalian was what I was looking for, but I think we went down some weird kind of Orthodox route for that conversation before I gave up. But so now trying to remember what vegetarians who eat fish are. Episcopalians.
Fish don't have feelings. Oh, really? Then why did you name your goldfish Barney?
You know, what's concerning is that, aren't they like starting to decide that plants can feel pain?
Yeah, they always have, because that's why plants do better with sunlight. And they also had the whole thing about like, well, they like, plants like it when you talk to them and you play classical music and blah, blah. I'm like, so yeah. And then, well, when you eat the fruit off of an apple tree, you're basically eating its young.
Pescatarian was what you were thinking of.
It's so close to we'll just call him pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
Okay, moving on. Next, second factoid. Factoid number 2 is garnets are a species of mineral that are found in every color, with a reddish brown shade being the most common. Blue garnets happen to be the rarest of the colors. Color spectrum of garnets, and were allegedly first reported to be found in the 1990s.
Are these like gems?
Yes, gems, garnet gems. Sorry.
Well, garnets are the same things as gems?
Is a type of gem.
Oh, garnets are a type of gem.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I Erica has a garnet, because when we went to, you would know this too because you're from Chicago. But when you go up to Door County, they've got that mining for gold and gem things, which are so much fun. I love them. I took her that. I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. But she found a garnet, and I believe it's like, depending upon the way that like a raw garnet is fired, when it's like being polished or whatever the process, it's like able to change whatever color it is and stuff like that, or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know.
All species of garnets possess similar physical properties in crystal forms, but differ in chemical composition. Huh. Well, I think this is the first geological factoid. Yep. Maybe
Miss Frizzle would be proud of me.
I'm proud of you, Alex.
Thank you,
Professor Alex. So.
I just want my sons to be proud of me.
Well, hey, you got like at least 6 more years before you lose them completely.
There's some times when I kind of look at that Glock in the dresser drawer next to me, and I think of my children's smiling faces, and I say, "Not today, Glock. Not today."
That did not go as dark as I thought you were going. I thought you were going to be like, maybe I can start over.
I can start over. What if reincarnation really does exist?
I see you're not. You're definitely a soft parent now, Alex. Because I was going way darker than what you were saying.
Oh no, I'm not going to go Chris Benoit.
You say parent mind went right to protecting the kids and offing yourself, and I was like, no, I mean start over, Alex. It's free. Well, I guess there's a hospital fee involved.
Yeah.
Hey, you can just birth at home. That's what the kids do these days.
You can't pay alimony if there's no body to be paid. Your Honor.
Have to kill. Erica just has to be on board and it'll be fine. I guess women are harder to convince. Who's the guy? Never mind. I don't want
this. The darkest factoid.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. Okay. It was just supposed to be a one-off joke.
Yep. Our third factoid has to do with ancient civilization and pooping. The earliest known indoor pit toilet was believed to be from approximately 3200 BC and was said to be found within the ancient city of Uruk of the old Mesopotamian Empire.
Pooping makes me so ashamed to be human.
You're just expelling solid sin from your body.
But think about it. It's like losing organs. It's just like weird.
Everybody poops.
Yeah, but still, that's even worse. That's even worse. That's even worse.
Well, Mother Nature had no other plan for us to do it in any way.
I've said this a million times, but it's become more and more. I've convinced myself of it more and more.
They're running out of people to blame for that issue. You can't blame God anymore if you don't believe in God.
Well, I was going to say, there's
Mother Nature, then science.
There's no greater proof for the non-existence of a caring God than pooping.
And Mother Nature hates us just as equally, if not more.
Well,
so.
Mother Nature, nature is just fiercely logical. There's no benevolence to it.
You have
right?
to poop.
Yes, it's like you bring something in, you've got to get rid of it once it's been stripped of its nutrients. God, a loving God at least, would be like, yeah, they have to eat the thing to get nutrition. Also, it just disappears. It just gets absorbed. They don't have buttholes anymore.
Yep. You can't use the Balldo.
Or, yeah, you can't use the Balldo. Or it would just be something as simple as, why do they need to eat? They don't have to eat.
Just
no eating.
You could be.
Yeah, they don't need
data.
Exactly. Well, I mean, realistically, and it's funny because when you talk to people who are like really religious, they're like, "Well, how are we going to get nutrition?" And then I'm like, "I'm the all-powerful creator of life, and I am making the rules.
Yeah.
As I go along. There's no reason I have to. There's no reason I have to make the rule that says you need to have nutrition to survive. Mm-hmm. That's an arbitrary rule that's just there to kill people." Right? Mm-hmm. And to poop. So, I'm not saying there's no God. I'm just saying he might not be the nicest guy because he made us poop.
He probably knows what's going on too. He's like, I purposely made them go poop. And like one of the angels is just like, well, why? He's like, well, they need to figure out why they need to poop. And then the angel goes like, well, what happens when they find out about that moon landing, supposedly? And he's like, they'll find out someday.
Humanity is a cosmic fart joke. God's like, look at these people. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, it's pooping. They're pooping. Now I'm depressed. Well, thank you, Professor Alex.
You're welcome. My doctoral degree does not allow me to explain why humans poop.
Truly another fascinating month of information that I will ponder until next month.
Control-C, Control-V, right off the pages of Wikipedia.
Don't spoil the mystery.
I'm like,
if I go to Wikipedia right now and those are the top 3,
they're not. They're from like several weeks ago.
Oh,
I don't necessarily just go off the main page. Sometimes I just kind of see some shit online, and I'm like, let me go and see what Wikipedia has maybe about this.
Is that in the Did You Know section? You just steal it from Wiki?
No.
Did you know that Serpico was filmed in reverse and Al Pacino had to be shaved as the shooting progressed?
Did you notice how Pacino's voice in that was way different than his voice now? I mean, granted, he was younger.
I haven't seen Serpico in a long time.
Yeah, he had a much different voice. It's kind of like Steven Tyler in the early days of Aerosmith. Yeah.
Serpico just wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw the poster for Serpico, I thought he was supposed to be Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, "Who's this naked man on this? Like, what is this poster about?"
But he does have aviator sunglasses on his head. But like as a kid, I kept seeing that, and I always at the video store, and I always thought he was supposed to be Jesus.
It's a very messianic looking image.
Yeah, I was a very religious young man,
and
then I discovered pooping.
And then you marched off to the church and you nailed up your 99 theses on toilet paper in protest.
I was going to say, it just said poop over and over and over again.
Poop, poop, poop.
Tell me a little bit about this Soylent drink. I really don't know anything about this. The only thing I know about Soylent is that meme from that Reddit post where the guy is too weak to open his Soylent bottle, so he has a robot do it for him. That's the only way I know Soylent.
Yeah, so basically Soylent is a soy protein-based meal replacement drink. That's the best way to describe it. It's kind of like Carnation Instant Breakfast, but it's for old people.
Okay.
But it's basically...
Did you say it's for white people?
Yeah, I think this is the majority who drink this stuff.
Can you imagine what self-respecting black man would drink Soylent?
A SoundCloud rapper, or maybe Jay-Z now that he's an old fogey and
Jay-Z drinks Soylent.
But basically, yeah, it's to put it bluntly, it's pretty much just like a meal replacement drink that's based upon soy It's not even soy milk. It's just a soy mixture of some sort. And what it is that it's basically, the whole meme is like, it's like the high, low T, high estrogen, man bun hipster. I don't even know if they exist anymore, but kind of guys like that. And
I should point out really quick that I used to have a man bun.
yeah, but I don't think you have low T, so.
You should see the size of my balls. Oh wait, you have.
When we're fitting on that Balldo.
Whoa.
So it's basically like a very, I would have to say it's kind of genetically engineered type of food, because you can't really find this in nature. It's not organic. It doesn't grow in the ground by mom and pop farmer and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to see what exactly this shit is like, which you can find in a whole bunch of places. Walmart sells it. So, obviously the people at Walmart seem to be worthy enough to get Soylent in their diet. So it's basically engineered type of sustenance thing that's meant as a meal replacement. And I got the sample flavor pack, which is 6 flavors. What is it? Where is it? Variety pack. Yeah, so the variety pack I got off of Amazon. It's for 6 shakes or 6 bottles, so it's $25. So it's a little pricey. But it came in chocolate, mint chocolate, strawberry, banana, vanilla, and cafe mocha. And I would have these for breakfast because I'm not really a big breakfast person, and I just wanted to see kind of like what the whole thing is and stuff. And it's not a chalky aftertaste. It's just kind of like a bland aftertaste. The flavor itself is pretty much, you taste it, whatever the flavor is, as you're drinking it, which I kind of sipped it. I don't know if you're supposed to just drink it all down or whatever the deal is.
Is it thick?
It's not really thick. No,
interesting.
It's not, but it's not watery. It's kind of in between. And it's not, like I said, it's not soy milk. Because it's like chemically formulated type of thing. And it's meant as a meal replacement. Each one of these, I took a look at the back of the thing. Each one of them is 400 calories. So if they're kind of wanting you to replace maybe just 2 meals, I mean, there are some people who probably, survive on nothing but it. It's only 1,200 calories a day, and each of the various types of vitamins and minerals on there is pretty much like 20%. I think it's got like 40% of your daily protein intake. And
what are we talking calories in this?
400.
400. Gotcha.
Yeah. So basically with it itself, it's got lots of fiber, has omega-3s. It's animal free, plant-based, whatever, natural flavors and stuff like that. I think the one flavor, in terms of flavors, I would rank them cafe mocha last, but it's because it's coffee and caffeine, so that's kind of like your pick-me-up type of thing. I wasn't too impressed with it. It had really bad coffee and chocolate flavor. Number 2, like number 5, I guess that would be number 6 in terms of flavorings. Number 5 would be mint chocolate. Number 4 would be strawberry. Banana would be number 3 because it wasn't very strong banana flavor, but it was noticeable. Chocolate was number 2. And then surprisingly, the best flavor I liked was vanilla, which I was very surprised about because vanilla is very easy to fuck up if you fuck up vanilla. You can tell if you fuck up vanilla or not. Chocolate is a lot harder to mess up because as long as you have a decent chocolate flavor, you're fine. But vanilla can be, I've had stuff that's like good vanilla and I've had terrible tasting vanilla that's like barely there. But the vanilla one tasted, to me, in my opinion, the best of all the flavors and stuff like that. It's kind of like, and I I didn't feel like satisfied when I drank these. It was more like I'm just like, I don't have an appetite. So I felt almost like it was just appetite suppressing, maybe because there's something in my stomach, but I didn't feel like, I was like, I might be able to eat
I'm
something.
being appetite suppressed.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, it was kind of weird because when you open it up, it's a sealed cap, and then you open it up and then it has this foil pullback thing, sort of like it's coffee creamer. So I was like, that's kind of weird. I gave it, cool. I'd probably give it like I haven't had the regular Soylent because I'm kind of worried about trying to taste what it would be like, which I think would be exceptionally bland, which is pretty much the type of lifestyle most of these people live.
You should be worried about it sucking out all of your testosterone.
Testosterone, that's fine. I'm fat and old at this point, so whatever.
And you already have your 2 kids.
Yeah, I already got my 2 kids, so it doesn't matter.
Your libido can be torpedoed now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like it isn't already.
Yeah, I'll just take them to go and see whatever type of Marvel trash comes out in theaters and scream like a schoolgirl.
Oh my god.
I would give this like I'd give it a 2.5 out of 4 pots of gold, which I'm very surprised it's that high for me.
Slightly better than average.
Yeah,
it's very fair of you.
But I feel like I would hesitate to tell people to. I wouldn't tell. I don't think if you're gonna have this, I think you should have a flavored. I don't think you should just do the regular Soylent, because I think they're kind of. It seems like they're mostly phasing that stuff out. It doesn't seem to be too prominently displayed on their website itself. So yeah, if you're gonna drink it, probably the creamy chocolate or the vanilla would probably be the best bets. Strawberry was lacking, banana was hit or miss. Mint chocolate and cafe mocha, skip those. I mean, yeah, cafe mocha's got caffeine added to it. It's like their pick me up energy thing, but it's like just have a regular cup of coffee or whatever soy non-fat latte from Starbucks and you'd get the same thing. I don't think I'll ever drink this again, but if this is kind of like, drink the Soylent, eat the bugs, enjoy the maggot sausage, wear the mask, bigot, this is the future.
I don't understand why we're so convinced that we're going to all be eating bugs.
I don't understand.
Or like what's the underlying push for this shit?
Because they say that basically they're trying to sell this idea to Western countries, saying that, all these people, they say like millions or billions of people in parts of the world eat insects. And I'm like, they eat them as like a snack / delicacy. They don't just sit down and have 3 square meals of fried grasshopper. All right. They don't. But
they also straight up do it because there's not many other options.
Exactly.
Or there weren't options when those became
it's
the standard.
It's what is most readily available for protein. And the reason a lot of these NGOs try to sell this idea about the maggot sausages and grass. I mean, they are trying to do this stuff. Basically saying that because we consume protein from farm animals or domesticated livestock, it's detrimental and damaging to the ecosystem because there's too much energy and land and water that's utilized for a small payoff, as they so put it. So that's why they're pushing the whole Impossible Burger, lab created meat, insect eating, soy drinking stuff and things like that. And really, when you're doing stuff like that and you're getting your entire sustenance from this and all your nutrition, it's like you're not enjoying life. You're just kind of just putting something in there. So you just, it's kind of like, sometimes you just want to go to, McDonald's and get the double quarter pounder with cheese. I don't care how much grass it destroys and how much water it uses. And fuck you, I can do it because I can. It's like,
well, this just feeds into and I know everyone's going to think that I'm like a heartless, awful, capitalist, Republican monster if they don't already think this.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely get this feeling that over the past billions of years, humanity has scraped and clawed and battled to get to the number 1 position.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a bunch of weak-wristed pussies that are trying to push us down to eating insects. And giving up all of the cool shit that we've, as a species, earned
over millennia.
Over
Fighting
millennia,
fighting mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and dinosaurs and other humanoid species.
It's like suddenly it's like, you know, all those cool like luxuries and conveniences you have. Let's start taking those away.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Sorry everybody. I'm not terribly concerned about the planet being here in 200 years.
How dare you?
Because fuck you, Greta. Get the fuck
potato face.
Get the fuck out. Potato face.
Now we're like, hey, we've hit peak human civilization. Let's go to space. No, you have to eat Soylent.
Bugs? Nah.
No. Lab created meat. Would you eat lab created meat? Which we kind of did with the Impossible Burger.
I don't have a problem with that as much as the bugs.
Okay.
Because that's the lab grown meat is still based on actual. It's like cloned meat.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. It's still, organically meat. It's just grown in a lab as opposed to grown off of
cows.
It's like when they make ears on the backs of mice to graft onto humans. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't bother me as much. That seems kind of cool.
Or penises.
Actually. Excuse me?
Well, Mr. Garrison.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that was one where he was like trying to sex change back into a guy, and they had to regrow a penis on like a lab mouse.
Back of a rat, yeah.
And then like the mouse got loose, so it was like running around. Like I
actually do remember that.
And
Jesus
then
Christ.
The mouse stops in the moonlight and sings "Somewhere Out There."
All right. Anyway,
the boomers on the show will understand. Like Jay-Z.
Anyway, moving on from Alex recounting episodes of South Park. So Alex gives 2.5 pots of gold to Soylent. I give 0 pots of gold to eating bugs.
And we give negative 5 pots of gold to Greta Thunberg.
Being compulsory eating of bugs, I would give 0 pots of gold. I don't care what you want to do with your own cuisine. I actually, one New Year's Eve, when I was ordering a collection of traditional Asian food, they had silkworm, I believe. And I ordered a serving of it, delivered to my apartment, and me and my lady at the time looked at it and each had one and was like, well, that was a waste of $15, and that was the end of it. But for that New Year's Eve, it was an exciting little moment.
The most Western chauvinistic, imperialistic, colonial white person thing I've ever done was eat shark fin soup at a Chinese restaurant.
Holy shit!
When you could still do that in the U.S.
My mom had that in Chicago when she was young.
Yeah.
But anyway, so no Soylent, no bugs at Culture Doom anytime soon.
Yeah.
But what will come back soon is our March episode.
Yep.
Which, wait a second, Alex, is it your birthday next week?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you.
I just realized it was mid-February.
Yep.
What is it, the 16th?
17th.
17th, damn it. It's on my calendar on my phone.
Yeah.
That's how you know I tried to do it for real and I didn't just cheat.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I tried. Yeah, I see. Alex Finiak 17th. Damn it.
Yep.
Erica's birthday is in March. And so is Nicholas's birthday.
Yep.
Wow. You got a lot of important birthdays in March.
Who else is in March? So I share my birthday with Michael Jordan, Paris Hilton.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Ed Sheeran. I don't know who he is.
Is that the musician?
Yeah, they say he's a pop singer.
He has like really thin orange hair.
Yeah. Denise Richards. Larry the Cable Guy.
Embarrassing.
Jim Brown, the football player.
I don't think anyone has my birthday.
Michael Bay. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day.
JGL. What's he been up to?
Nothing. Who else are these? TikTok.
All right, well, it's
a bunch of TikTok stars. You know, I'm
I was gonna say, let's move on from
Christ.
going through every person who's born on your birthday.
Well-
And you know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should take our leave, and until next time, Alex, will you please wrap up this week's episode?
Certainly, I'd love to. Thank goodness. Thank you very much for listening to Culture Doom. This is our new monthly episodic story arc, which hopefully once my younger son gets to a more stable sleeping habit, we'll be able to move on to like a more normal-esque schedule. Anyways, thank you once again for listening. Like I said, any email, send it to contact@culturedoom.com. On behalf of Brendan, this is Alex saying double baccio. Until next time. Make your balls hairless and then you lube them up. I don't know why.